What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Rolando Romero and Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's contender Rolando Romero failed to enhance his reputation further and should have suffered a first career defeat on Saturday night. The TMT fighter scored a unanimous decision over unbeaten Jackson Marinez. In the process, Romero claimed the interim WBA lightweight title. Romero versus Martinez was the co-main event to David Benavidez versus Alexis Angulo on Showtime. And the scores were 115, 113, 116, 112, and 118, 110. All in favor of Romero. Those cards certainly don't represent what took place in the ring afterwards. There was an outpouring of disgust at the manner of the result. The story of the fight was Marinez's reliable jabs as the Dominican fighter won the battle in the department, 14% compared to Romero's 10%. It was Romero, however, who held the advantage on power punches, connecting on 24%, 31 out of 228. Compared to 18% for Marinez, which was 72 out of 401. Overall, Marinez landed more than twice as many punches as Rolo. In the aftermath, Romero discussed his performance after confidently predicting a brutal knockout in his pre-fight comments. He says, "I don't think I had a bad performance. I thought I won the fight," said the Floyd Mayweather boxer. "Regardless of everything, I'm in the interim world champ now. I'm happy." Romero suffered a slight cut above his left eye in the 9th round on a headbutt, but it didn't seem to affect his performance in the championship rounds. Hold up. That was not a headbutt. That was from a right hand. Okay? It was from his left eye. His left eye got hit with a right because they couldn't find the headbutt. They claimed it a headbutt because Harvey Dock, which has proven to me to be a kind of shady, sketchy referee anyway, he ruled it as a headbutt because if it was ruled as a cut, it could have been stopped and the winner would have went to automatically Jackson if it had to be stopped. Okay? Now, Romero also said, "He came out a bit tougher and slicker than I thought," Romero added, "but all he did was move around the entire fight. He didn't even try to engage, and it's hard to knock someone out that doesn't try to engage. I hurt him multiple times with body shots and a few hooks. There was a moment I hurt him with a right hand and he pulled my head down. It was just hard to finish him off." Asked whether he'd give Marinez a return rematch, Romero concluded, "Yeah, he didn't do anything special." So I guess that's a no. Okay. So the 29-year-old Marinez, who holds the WBA's number 6 ranking, is trained by Robert Garcia. Okay. The respected coach was not present in Marinez's corner after electing not to travel across country from his Southern California home. Marinez was clearly raging at the decision, though. "That was a pure robbery," Marinez said. "I won the fight. I out-jabbed, out-boxed. You could tell he didn't think he won the fight right afterwards. It's a robbery." Now, comments on social media, of course, they've been blasting him. And where Mayweather comes in, see, here's the thing. Let me counterpunch people. Mayweather, this guy is Mayweather's fighter. And it makes Mayweather look bad. Now, it makes him look bad for a few reasons. One, he was supposed to have been a knockout artist, and he was supposed to be this guy that was showcased. The co-main event, he was supposed to be this guy that was going to get this guy out of here and really make a statement. But he did not do that. In fact, he showed us that he didn't belong there. He showed us that he had a lot to work on. He showed us that his power is overrated on top of his technique. Okay? And he also showed us he didn't want to get back in there with that particular fighter. Okay? Also, it made Floyd Mayweather look bad because it shows that if this type of fight is going to be judged that way, what type of influence was behind that fight? See, you have Oscar De La Hoya and Bob Arum and a lot of other, Don King, another one, these promoters that have fighters that, for some strange reason, that's been in fights that they couldn't lose. Okay? Hashtag Canelo on points. So I would hate the fact that Floyd gets this type of jacket to wear based on his fighters' incapability of winning. Okay? And winning fairly, honestly. And to think he is buying off judges or some type of corruption, it looks bad on his part being a promoter. Okay? Now, if he could save himself, if I'm Floyd Mayweather, I would, in which he won't. But if I'm Floyd Mayweather, and this is coming back on me, reflecting me as a promoter, I would say, hey, it was a tough fight or whatnot, and I would go for an immediate rematch. Because one thing that Floyd did himself as a fighter, if some fight like the Maidana fight, it was a close fight, he gave the guy a rematch. The Castillo fight, right? It was a close. A lot of people thought Castillo was robbed the first fight. He gave him a rematch. Now, the only time he didn't give a rematch was to Oscar De La Hoya, because he knew Oscar De La Hoya was, was Oscar De La Hoya. And that's not easy to get a win over him these days. So, despite his losses in the ring. Anyway, Floyd did what he's supposed to do. So if I'm Floyd being the promoter, I would give this man a rematch. Plain and simple. Just to erase, to give the Dominican fighter Jackson another opportunity to showcase it and get rid of those judges. None of those judges should be there. And I knew it was a bad sign, people. If you guys seen my live stream, shout outs to the people that was there. I did yesterday. All of those judges were from Connecticut. And that's always a bad sign. When all of the judges are from one general area, you can see how some corruption can easily be implemented in that fight, okay? Because there was no doubt about it. Those judges, either they weren't looking because they already knew how to score, or they were drunk. But it makes Floyd look bad, and it makes his fighter look bad on top of that, and it's really falling back on him because of this overhyped performance that this guy supposed to gave Saturday night. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Floyd Mayweather's fighter, Rolando Romero. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.